Alrighty, this is my farm design for a 2x2 spruce tree farm. Let me just tell you, this took me months to finish. I think it took me like 2 months. Before I show you how this farm works, I just want to tell you the rates. The rates of this farm are like when I would run it, it was like 9,000 logs per hour. That's actually pretty decent, I would say. And that's equivalent to just a bit over two double chests of wood. So yeah. Also, like, this isn't the best tree farm. If you want like a decent one, go to Silent Whisperer's channel. He has a dark oak farm, and on that farm he gets like 15,000 logs an hour, which is actually really good. But it's a pretty intense farm, and so is this one. So just build that on your own, like more like yeah. So anyways, I will now showcase how this farm works. So down here, this is where you AFK. You will sit in this mine cart, and you move back and forth. And if you had saplings, you would just line it up right here, hold down right click. And something important, this 3x3 area down here, no blocks should be in this area. Because saplings need the 3x3 base. Like the northwest sapling needs a 3x3 square of empty area for it to grow. And as you can see, we have to just keep this bottom layer like empty. But then like from there and upwards, from like the second level and up, you need a 5x5 area starting in the center in the northwest sapling. So then you get like 1, 2. You can't have any blocks in like this general vicinity. The only blocks that it won't like really care are dirt blocks. And here's the problem: you could also like put 2 blocks here, but then this would be turned to podzol. And the thing is, podzol is considered one of the blocks that it can't grow with. So if you would put podzol there, the sapling would not grow. So you need the podzol like gone, and you can't have any dirt here. And this switch right here is the on and off switch. And let me just explain this. This is a detection system, just a lever powering into a repeater. Once it gets a full block in here, it will then power off this redstone torch, which is powering this etho hopper clock. And it has specifically... Okay, that might explain why my farm's slow. Alright. And this hopper clock has 20 items. It could be any items as long as they stack up to 64. See, there's nothing else here. So we're taking out like just output from here for the activation over here. And this will activate this piston, which will then go all the way down here, which will deactivate the rails you're like on, and it will lower. So if there's a block there, it would lower the platform so you stop placing blocks on the podzol. And also, these things are running constantly, so that it will be a loud farm. This right here is running constantly, and these two right here are running constantly as well. Sapling returns, you get 3 to 8 saplings every tree. So like I recommend you start off with a stack of saplings, because that's just a safety measure, and eventually once you like keep going, you'll get more and more. And these giant things on the side are leaf crushers to ensure that we get the most amount of saplings, so then that way we don't run out while we're AFK. And this is the bone meal area right here, and we have a simple observer clock right there, and this is where you would put the bone meal. And what we use to destroy the wood is wither killers, wither chambers, I mean. This wither chamber design is designed by Silent Whisperer. Like, yeah, like Silent Whisperer is basically just carrying Bedrock Edition at this moment. You should really check out that tutorial. It's really useful. So go check him out. I'll put him in the link in the description. If you don't know Silent Whisperer and you play Bedrock Edition, you're missing out. Come on. So the point is, it would pull. So this initially will push the blocks over here, This one will push them to the side. It's a double piston extender, and so is this one. It will push 2 blocks all the way over here so that these 2 are occupied. This one would then pull back the wood that's here, and then the double piston extender would push them back in here. And once they're in here, we have an observer of seeing any block changes. So once a block hits here, it will then fire snowballs to all the wither chambers, breaking all the blocks. And we have to actually fire this twice because of the problem that we can't push the bottom two with dirt. We could try to use double piston extenders, but then it wouldn't really work. It would only push like this block up to like here, I would say, because you really need dirt in these areas. So this farm is very directional. If you guys want a tutorial, I'll make a tutorial, but it's a pretty advanced farm. We use bedrock. If you play on normal and hard mode, you will need bedrock. If you play on easy, you could make this out of obsidian, which makes things easier. There's a lot of repeaters, honey blocks, and slime blocks, and a bunch of sticky pistons and observers. I still have to find out how many that is, which is probably going to be annoying. And yeah, let's get to the testing. So up here, I just have a simple structure block that will spawn in some saplings. So we're just right-clicking it. It will summon them right there. Double piston extender pushes it there. Those push it. It receives it from there. Pulls it back. Pushes it back. They get destroyed. Those get pushed. Then that gets pushed back into there. Gets pulled back. And then gets destroyed. So here's the neat thing. I'll showcase this again. So you go down here, sapling grows. It pushes all of them except these 2 logs, but you'll see what happens right in a bit. Look, it gets pushed up. And once it gets pushed up, it's basically at the same level of like double piston extenders, and it gets put into the farm. So that way, you can ensure that everything goes perfectly well. As you can see, there is some sapling return. C31, I'll just put it in here. See, no saplings, and we grew 2 saplings, and we got back 18. So we lost 8, but we got 18 back. So we got a return of 10 saplings, and that's to ensure that you don't run out of saplings while AFKing. And we just have a simple collection system over here. I put it double. Like, I would recommend you make triple, because there's like 3 possible things you could get from the wither cage. You can get the logs, sticks, and the saplings. Here I just only have it for logs, saplings, and then the sticks, and then any other extra ones go in here. I haven't cleared it out from like the last test run, and yeah. Okay, now I can finally match it up. So would I recommend this farm? This is a pretty late game farm, if I say so myself, because one, it uses bedrock, and that's not really something that's easy to attain. Also here, this is where the snowball supply is coming from. So we have some hopper minecarts there that just lead into a bunch of hoppers. You could like separate them, like 5, no, I believe it's 6 different wither chambers. It is 6. So you could just put like 6 different snowman ones, but I was like, you know what, let's just make them one. And over here it has a detection system, so once this one reaches a certain capacity, it will then shut off this this clock, preventing the farm from making any more snowballs, and then logging out your world. So would I recommend this farm? If well, if you need a lot of like spruce saplings, not saplings, like spruce wood, I would totally recommend this farm. I will try to get a world download soon so you guys can test it and see if it actually like, fits your need, and you guys can learn how to operate it. And I don't know, maybe within a few weeks I can make a tutorial, because this is a very, very intense farm because of like how much is really going on. And you see this redstone circuitry right here. This is, I don't understand how I wrapped my head around this. I actually don't understand. So well, I'll try to explain what happens. So when there's a sapling growth, I told you guys already, it detects it over here, deactivates that torch, activates this ether hopper clock. But then this is where it gets interesting. So this right here, that's a redstone block, right? I used it to power this bell, because the thing is, bells are the only thing on Bedrock Edition, I believe, that have one activation stage. So that means like you hit it once, it will set off an observer once. Things like buttons, lanterns, not lanterns, redstone lanterns, what else? Basically a bunch of stuff activate twice, which sets off the observer twice, which then gives you two separate pulses, and that's what we're trying to avoid. So then the redstone line just runs up here, and it goes to a pulse extender. This is like as short as a pulse extender that you can really get. You need a pulse extender of like, I believe, what was it? I think it was like 4 items, so like less than 2 seconds. This like barely goes above, and here it runs into this block, and this block will then run into here, activating the leaf crushers over there, and will then activate the first double piston extenders here to push the main logs into the blast area. As you can see, these repeater lines go all the way over here. Oh, wait, that's the top one. They go from the bottom here, and then this activates this leaf crusher right there, and then it double piston extender there. That lever was just there to test the double piston extender. Runs by, activates the grabbing mechanism, and then it goes over here. This is the part I actually struggled with the most. I have to use like a perfectly timed etho hopper clock to get this to work. 24 items is what you need. I also recommend you cover your hopper clocks to make sure nothing enters them, because when an item enters it, it's going to make the delay even greater, and it will probably break your farm. So yeah, so this like powers off the redstone torch, activates the etho hopper clock. This will then power this source right here, which then runs down to the side and up. So the thing is, this has a larger delay over here for this one, because once it gets powered off, this will pull up, and then this one over here will then turn off, powering on this redstone torch, then pushing this piston into play, allowing this bottom circuit to push up the blocks, those 2x2 blocks down there that like don't get collected first, and then like basically continue the whole circuit all over again, just like one more round. Because then it then runs over here. It runs up here, powers this again, so it powers the double piston extender there, both leaf crushers, and then it runs back here. But the thing about this hopper clock is that once it like goes back into this original state, it will then power off these blocks, preventing the redstone line from running twice again to prevent an infinite loop. And that's really what I struggled with the most. That and getting a reliable collection system. If you see the collection system isn't that effective over here, you really have to use this right here. You also have to put a a sign on a trapdoor that's waterlogged, then runs here, and then yeah, you just have your storage area right there. And I will tell you, this is the third major redesign. So the first one had 30 total redesigns. The second major design only had 10. And this third one had, I think, like 20. Let me tell you, it was not fun designing this, but it will come in handy in my world, because the tree farm I have right now, pretty slow, and I don't know, it just feels cool to be able to design my own farm that actually works. So if you want, I will activate this again. Tree, oh, we actually got a tall one. They get pushed, leaf crushers, gets pushed in there, gets pulled back, pushed in. This one then pulls as soon as that one retracts, pushes it in, retracts, and then pushes it back in, where it will then activate that observer, breaking all the blocks. And that's just a simple breakdown of this farm. And yeah, that will be all for today. And also, if you can see, I finally got Bedrock Edition on PC, so that's huge. And I actually plan to make more videos. I just like, school started and I didn't get the PC working until the end of summer, which sucked. Also, I couldn't get a good video or editing app on my phone, so I couldn't really do that either. And yeah, so if you want this farm, just comment down below if you want this farm. It's a pretty high-end farm, so I'm only gonna make a tutorial if people want it. So yeah, that will be all for today, guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. That's hoping that I actually make videos. Goodbye.